All right, welcome to HSF Conversations. This is our first ever attempt to do a video feature on the Hellas Society Forum. It's been a long time coming. We've talked about it through the years, but we are going to actually try that today. We intend that this is going to go for 20 or 25 minutes. I'm sure that there will be a bit of a learning curve, and we'll grow and adapt as we go on. But for now, what we want to do is we want to introduce us. HSF is more than just the four of us, but this particular conversation is the four of us. We want to introduce us, and then we want to get into just generally the question of what is HSF Conversations? What is this new feature? Why are we doing this? What do we hope to accomplish through this feature? By the way, I would mention that we intend that this be what it says, conversations. It's somewhat informal. It's not scripted. We have a rough outline, a rough agenda, but otherwise we're just having a conversation. So with that said, I'll start with Jesse, who I'm halfway introducing by calling him Jesse. So let's start with you, and then we'll just go around. Tell us who you are, a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into what this new feature is.
Yeah, I'm Jesse Owens, pastor of the Emmanuel Free Baptist Church in Gallatin, and have contributed to the HSF for, I guess, 10 or so years now. I also work for Welch College, where I oversee the groundskeeping and am adjunct faculty in theology and history. And yeah, that's about it.
Jesse, what's one of your hobbies?
Running. I've fallen off a little bit. Maybe you can help me get back on the horse with that. But running is a hobby. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Who would like to go next?
My name is Philip Morgan. I'm the history program coordinator and the humanities and arts degree coordinator here at Welch College. I'm in my fifth year now here at the college, and I'm working through a PhD program through Kansas State University through in a PhD in history as well. And my hobbies are raising animals and food on my land.
Excellent. Jesse, did you just finish up a dissertation or something? Why don't you speak to that?
Yeah. I'm finishing a PhD in historical theology at Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. And yeah, just submitted the defense draft of my dissertation. So I'm waiting for my committee to read that over the next 6 weeks and then have the oral defense sometime the end of March, beginning of April. And so Lord willing, this semester will kind of wrap things up. It's been 7 years now, started in 2014. So I think it's about time to finish this thing off.
Chris.
Yeah, man. I am the program coordinator for our youth and family ministry program here at Welch, and I'm also the campus pastor. I volunteer as a youth and family pastor at Sylvan Park Free Baptist Church down in Nashville. And I too am in a PhD program right now in apologetics and culture at Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary. And me and my wife, we have 3 incredibly good-looking boys. So.
Hobby.
I have no hobbies.
You have no hobbies.
It's keeping up with the 3 boys, yeah.
Yeah, Legos is pretty much it at this point. So.
Are you a fan of the Lego movies?
Yeah, I can kind of take or leave them. So some of this is getting niche pretty quick, but some of like their like straight to DVD stuff is pretty good, like their Star Wars Lego type things.
My name is Matt Bracey. Like Jesse, I've been part of the HSF since really we started. I think our first post was in 2011, and we first started having conversations about the HSF in 2010. Philip and Chris here joined the HSF, I think, within a year or so after we started. I mean, it was pretty near the beginning. Let's see. So yeah. I'm the Vice Provost of Academic Administration at Welch College. I teach You typically around 3/4 time a semester in stuff to do with law and or theology most often. I'm currently in a PhD program, like Jesse. I'm getting mine through the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville through a modular program in ethics and political theology with an emphasis or a minor in philosophy. And I'm done with my coursework. I'm done with my languages. I'm at the beginning of my dissertation work. I'm working on a dissertation dealing with a certain aspect of the thought of the Irish English parliamentarian founder of the modern manifestation of conservatism, Edmund Burke. So perhaps at a future time I'll talk more about that. But anyway, in terms of sort of who I am outside of work, first and foremost, I'm a husband to a wonderful lady. But in terms of my hobbies, I sort of a mixture of what Philip and Jesse have said. I enjoy running, I enjoy fitness, and I enjoy sort of the agrarian ideal. Enjoy nature and growing and raising your own food. So anyway, so do either of you, do I need to mention anything else that I asked you follow-up questions? Do you have any follow-up questions for me before I move on? If not, that's fine. I've tried to cover it all. I'm playing host to this particular conversation, but it doesn't mean that I will always play host. So up to this point, the HSF has primarily, the Helwa Society Forum, has primarily been an avenue through which, it's a forum through which we interact with ideas. Typically, we've done so, I guess, almost exclusively we've done so through the written word. We've done, we write articles, we write essays, we write book reviews, we've done interviews, but it's all through the written word. I mean, it's on everything from stuff in culture to stuff about ministry, to stuff about theology. I mean, just how does the Christian view of life in the world, how does that impact the way that we live life out there? And so that's what we've done. But with HSF Conversations, we're wanting to shift it, or not shift, but add to the written word, the spoken word in which we engage ideas. So there are several things we want to do here. One, right now we're calling it HSF Conversations. Is that a good word? Is that a good phrase for it? Or are there perhaps different things that we could call this that would be better? Also, I want to ask, the guys, in your mind, why is it that we are doing this? And what is it that you hope that we can accomplish through this feature? So I'll start with Jesse and then we'll kind of bounce around.
Yeah. I think we're doing this because, like what you said, we want to do something that's more conversational and something that is more of a spoken word rather than just the more long form essays, written word that we've done. And we also hope that this allows us to do something slightly more informal, and maybe allows us to directly address some current issues and in a conversation sort of format. And so I think one of the things we've learned probably over the last year is that, for all of the things that don't work as well with Zoom or video calls, this is a format that can be really useful. And so we want to make use of that and incorporate it into what we're already doing with the Helwa Society Forum.
So one of the ways that we operate is that we have typically prepared a writing plan 6 months in advance. So when you do that, you're planning out who's going to write, and you're also planning out, who your guests are going to be. You're also planning out what you're going to write on, to begin thinking about these things. So to Jesse's point, one of the problems that this creates is there are things that are happening, week by week. And theoretically, we invite people to bring those things into what they're already writing. But when you're thinking about an idea months out, it can become a little more difficult to just address immediate issues. Um, and so hopefully this is a format by which we can do some of that. So I'm going to shift here to Chris. So Jesse brought up the fact that we want to address issues that come. Maybe there's a big cultural thing going on. What else is it that we want to accomplish through HSF Conversations?
I'm just here for the snacks, to be honest.
Weren't you supposed to bring the snacks?
Yeah. Sorry, that's my bad. Yeah, no, I think you guys are hitting on similar ideas. I think what we've done for a long time is pretty like reflective material in our essays. A lot of times they're footnoted, and we've tried to do like some, to varying degrees, like some research on stuff, and not to like prioritize like gut reactions to things, but sometimes I think there's a place for us to get together and to for people to just observe some open discussion about a topic, right? So like one of our posts might just be like my thoughts on a particular issue, but when we're able to come on here, we're able to bounce ideas back and forth, talk about different things, get different perspectives among the four of us or whoever might be on here as a guest.
So what you're saying is we're not all clones of one another, and we actually can sometimes have some pretty animated conversations about things.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes. Philip, what would you add? What do you envision for this feature?
Well, I think like a lot of people, I have in the last couple of years really become interested in this format. I have benefited a lot from a number of podcasts that are online that are either conversations or interviews that are very similar to this. And at least for me, even when it's on a subject that I know very well or a subject of which I have no familiarity, a lot of times listening to that conversation can be very helpful for me to think about the world in new ways, or to be introduced to a wider perspective of ideas. And it's not quite as confining as reading a paper or reading an article or a book. I can put it on while I'm driving to work or while I'm out doing some, manual labor. And that way I can kind of do both things at the same time. And so I really like this kind of format for that purpose. And so hopefully we can help to add to that conversation, that broader conversation going on in our world today online. And if we could do just a little bit of that, I think that'd be great.
Would either the two of you like to respond to what Philip just said? So while you're thinking about that, I would say, yes to all of the above. In a way, HSF Conversations. By the way, I guess that term will stay with us unless somebody has a better idea. That's what we're calling it for now. No one's commented on that particular question, which is fine. We joked the other day about some different names, but they were considered too stuffy or something. So Conversations is fun and colloquial maybe. So in a way, this feature is a catch-all to do those things that perhaps we can't do, at least not in the same way, through the written word. So maybe there's a big hot button topic that we need to talk about. Maybe there is an important article that has come out, or an article that a lot of people are, maybe one day we talk about some topic and we bounce ideas back and forth. Maybe another day we've a group of people have come together and we've all read some article. And so we're debating the ideas of that article back and forth. We're talking through them, not even necessarily debating them. Maybe another day, maybe another HSF conversation is an actual interview, where we're interviewing someone. Maybe they're on the HSF, maybe they're out in the denomination, maybe they're in the broader world of, the broader evangelical world. But maybe they're talking about some book that they've released, or maybe they're talking about, what ministry looks like in the country in East Tennessee, or maybe they're talking about what the pastorate looks like in the middle of big city USA. But yeah, conversations between us, conversations among the HSF guys and gal. We have one for now. Maybe we'll get some more with time. Conversations between people not just in the HSF but out there. Maybe a more sort of formal interview, interviewing pastors, interviewing authors, interviewing missionaries. We also, though, we want to invite you guys, whoever it is who is watching this or listening to this, to feel free to make your own recommendations. What would you like to see? What would you like to hear about? Who would you like to see? Because we want this. I mean, this group. I mean, it's a forum, and so we intend that it is in fact a forum, a forum in which we discuss ideas, and we want you to be a part of that. We want our broader community to be a part of that. So please feel free to make your own recommendations. In a minute, I'd like us to move on to the next thing, but before I do that, is there anything else from you guys you'd like to say? Chris is here for the snacks, so he's got nothing.
And to and to disagree with you as much as possible.
That's to be expected.
Well, I would like to just add one last little thing and to kind of maybe refine what I had said about that, which is what's very helpful is we get introduced to really different ideas. And I'm certainly not a strong advocate for the internet. I certainly think it has a lot of downsides and a lot of dangers for us as a society and as individuals. But one thing it has been very helpful for is being able to find people who have ideas that are very different from just kind of what you're used to hearing everywhere. And so this allows an opportunity to really engage with some interesting thinking. And I like that part about it as well.
Anything else, gentlemen?
I would add to that what you were saying earlier. If people do have suggestions for things you'd like for us to discuss, or people that you'd love to see included in this sort of conversation, you can do that through the contact portion of our website. So if you go to the hsf.com and go to the contact section, that would be the easiest way to send ideas in to us.
Some of you may also have our personal email addresses and or phone numbers, which we're not going to give out here, but if you do, you can contact us through that as well. I would also say, for now, I mean, this could change, but for now, we're planning on these conversations being between, say, 20 and 25 minutes. And at least for now, we're planning on having 3 of these between now and the end of June. But, depending on how we feel like this is being received, it may be that in the months of July through December of this year, rather than just having 3, one every 2 months or so, we increase the frequency. So this is brand new. We're still learning. These are our initial ideas, but they're not at all set in stone. So since I'm playing host to this particular conversation, I've prepared surprise questions for each of the guys here. 2 of them are a little lighter. One of them is maybe a slightly more heavy. And I've got an A question, a B question, and a C question. So the guys don't know what question is associated with what number. They don't even know what questions I've come up with. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick on one of you, and then I'm going to ask that you pick A, B, or C, and then I'll read you the question. So, and I may or may not follow up with follow-up questions. So let's start with Philip. Do you want A, B, or C?
I'll take number B.
Number B. All right. What is your favorite season of the year and why? This is one of the lighter questions. What's your favorite season of the year and why?
Probably the spring, because that's when I get to finally get out of the house and start turning up the ground and getting ready. I get to order all my seeds for the year. That's my Christmas time, going through the seed catalog, which I've already been doing and marking what I want. And then when they all finally come in the mail, it's something to behold. So
what kind of seeds are you looking at this year?
I really like hot peppers. I like to eat them and I like to grow them. So this year I've been looking at some new and interesting varieties of habaneros. I found those are my favorites, but I'm also going to be raising some ghost peppers. So
Are you going to do any hot pepper jellies?
yeah, in fact, I purchased this and it's delightful. So I'm going to try to figure out how to make a fig pepper jelly this year if I can help it. If I can figure out a way to make that happen. It's
All right.
awesome.
You'll let me partake in that.
No.
Okay. That's what I figured. All right. Well, thank you very much. Next, I'm going to pick Chris. Do you want, as Philip said, do you want number A or number C?
I'm going to opt for what's behind door number C.
Door number C. All right. So you've left sort of a slightly heavier question for Jesse then. Jesse's like, oh, great. Chris, list a memorable meal that you've had in the last week or two.
Oh man, I thought this was a lighter question.
Hey, it's not a hard.
Chris takes this stuff seriously.
Yeah, no, this is deep. Okay, you can't blindside me with this. Okay.
I misrepresented the quality and the nature of my questions. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I think within the last week or so, I've tried a new Mexican restaurant twice, and both times it was pretty good. So
Where? What's the name of this Mexican restaurant?
that's for me to know, and
Okay.
for me to know.
So, are you going to share this with me, maybe off screen? Take me there, maybe.
Yeah, probably not. But
Okay, this is the love I get. I'm not getting shared the pepper jelly. I'm not getting taken to the Mexican restaurant. You're selfishly keeping it to yourself. You know, what is that comedian who says that all Mexican dishes are some combination of cheese and chicken and rice and tortillas? Is it Jim Gaffigan or somebody?
I don't know. That's like Taco Bell. Like
it's like I have a chimichanga. What's in that? Cheese, chicken, and rice. Oh, okay. What about this thing over here? The burrito. What's in a burrito? Cheese, chicken, and rice. Anyway, I'm not Jim Gaffigan, clearly. All right. So this means that Jesse gets what's behind door number A. And so, Jesse, I'm going to let you answer that. I may ask a follow-up question or two, but then I will let you, when you're done with that, I'll just turn it over to you so that you can kind of conclude our first ever HSF conversation. So, not including the Bible, name one or two of the most influential books on your life, and why are they so influential? See what Jesse thinks about that. See, you could have had that, Chris.
that's easier.
That's so much easier. So much easier.
Favorite book is easier than favorite restaurant.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't ask about favorite restaurant. I just said a memorable meal.
Yeah.
Probably the book I've read the most, other than the Bible, is J. Gresham Machen's Christianity and Liberalism.
Mm.
I probably read it 10 to 12 times. And it's been very influential in my life in the way I think about Christian doctrine and the nature of truth and propositional truth, how we engage with culture, ways in which you can attempt to alter the message of the Bible or the gospel message and actually lose the message itself, and lose the gospel. Yeah, Christianity and Liberalism is probably, other than the Bible, has probably been the most influential book that I've read. Yeah.
For those who may be unacquainted with J. Gresham Machen, could you give a very short bio of who he was, when he lived, why he's important?
Yeah, early 20th century Presbyterian theologian, and played a significant role in the response to the rise of Protestant liberalism. So the title of the book, Christianity and Liberalism, sort of the thesis of the book is that there's no such thing as liberal Christianity. There's Christianity and then there's liberalism. And so Machen's broader point is that liberalism, Protestant liberalism, is founded on something entirely different than the Christianity that as it's presented to us in Scripture. And so much of Machen's life and his writings, although he didn't live to be very old, I think maybe in his 40s, something like that, is him responding to Protestant liberalism. And that's not to say that's the only thing he does, but it is a significant part of it. And Christianity and liberalism is sort of right there at the top of maybe his most classic work in responding to and defending sort of classic Christianity.
Well, thank you for answering that question, guys. Thank you for answering my surprise questions, and thank you for being a part of this conversation. Jesse, why don't you work toward concluding this first HSF conversation?
Yeah, well, it's been good to talk with you all for a bit and answer Matt's questions, and definitely looking forward to doing this more in the future. I was just reading a book earlier that I thought this would be great for an HSF conversation, or maybe we could call this the Hell's Society Forum. Maybe that's a bit redundant.
HSFF.
Yeah, that's right. But we thank each of you for joining us and for watching this, and we hope that you will join us again in the future. And if you'd like to submit some ideas to us, again, if you have an email address for Philip or Matthew or Chris or myself, you can send us some ideas there, or through the contact portion of our website. We thank you for reading our essays over the last 10 years or so, and we hope that you'll continue to do so. And we look forward to continuing this new future for the website. Thank you. All right, see you guys.
See ya.